example of this in the first of the new films, where our main character completely uses his intelligence and things like that to begin being a leader. We don't get that with Caesar. It's just all of a sudden they start noticing him. And I think it's a very cool idea. And I think what happens in the coming minutes is really, I love it. I do love this movie. I just had to question why. What has he done? Does he have a secret telepathy that these apes know about? I don't get it.
So they're trying to convey, of course, him walking upright as being human, being a leader rather than hunched over. But they could have taken that. We talked about the shot kind of just throwing us outside. Mm-hmm. They could have taken a shot that was closer to it looked like McDonald and Caesar were walking shoulder to shoulder just for a few minutes, tighter on the two of them. So it's very obvious that he's following McDonald in a way that he would as a normal man, and then pull back to reveal the apes kind of also ape gaming around him, and then him begin to realize that he's not walking like an ape anymore, and then him pulling back down. I mean, it'd still be a big jump to become leader of the apes in this one moment, but they could have done something just a little bit different with the shot to make him look like they're walking side by side. Yeah,
I think that would have been interesting, and that would be hard to pull off. So that you're exactly right. The camera has to tell that story of that he's almost eye to eye with him, and that he suddenly lowers himself, and that's going to require a lot of the audience to go, oh, I see, that's what he's doing. Some people probably wouldn't perceive that, but it would have been a nice moment if they could have constructed that.
And they could additionally they could have done something where you see Caesar, noticing him standing upright, and then he starts to ape it down a little bit. But then you also see maybe some of the other apes thinking, oh, wait, what is this standing up stuff? So they get a little bit upright for a second and then down. So they're actually seeing that this is something that we can do. So they're seeing him as a leader and starting to imitate him so that they want to follow him later.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have mind seeing this moment for what's being tried to convey, last another minute or two. I could have liked to have, I could have seen that. This is definitely meant to convey so much. And I could have dealt, even though it's just 2 minutes of walking, I could have enjoyed seeing that brought out more.
I've said so many times about this whole shortened production schedule. Studios, and especially with all we're seeing with the studio fit throwing of all the stuff that's going on with COVID and whatnot, get out of the way of the people who make the movies. Yes, you control the money and put people in charge that you trust, but when studios get in the way like this and start saying your production schedule is this, allow them to at least come back and say, I really need 2 more weeks. Man, it's all the profit margin discussion that kills things like this. There was an opportunity for this to be great, because the more we talk about that could have been one of the great sequences of this entire classic trilogy, is them imitating, and him almost as he subsides himself, they all fall back in line to their ape simian type things. It's his first moment of leadership.
Yeah.
So I mean, this when you think about it in terms of what we're talking, how important this minute could be, it just speaks volume that this should be a very pivotal moment in the movie.
Yeah.
And it's missing a little better shot, a little more drawn out. To all of your points, Todd, just having him be upright and then being mimicked and then kind of coming back to where their status is. Oh, it's good. It's so good. Man, it's still meant to be a strong minute, though, when you think about it.
It is good, and it's just that potential there that if you think about exactly that he's up, they all imitate him. Sean gives that idea, they all imitate him, but then as he comes back down, they follow him. That could almost be like chill-inducing, that's his first moment. They're like, oh, look at that. Oh, and then they begin to follow him. That's a beautiful, unspoken message of them wanting to follow.
No, and this is also one that could have been accentuated either by having score around it or score in it. The absence of sound and the creation of sound either in the minute or outside the minute as you lead up to it. There could have been so much done even with that to make the scene more powerful.
I think that, you especially look at the music of that era. Now, of course, what they've done with Goldsmith's music originally and people trying to imitate his style going on. You could have been over the top, but that idea that even the music could play to the point when he sees them all rising up, but as he rises down, the music stops. So it's almost like that he's even more powerful than the score. You're right. There's so many chances here that they could have done something magical, but it's a great minute. Just could have been more. Yeah,
particularly because we're coming off the Caesar line.
Yeah,
there's a lot to unpack in this one little moment that could have been bigger than others. So basically, the minute ends with him jumping up and down because he's now letting McDonald know that he's an ape. I mean, that's basically what he's doing, right? He's jumping up and down like, McDonald, no, see, I'm just an ape. McDonald, who's not paying attention at all anyway, is like, what's going on? What's happening?
All right, has anybody got anything else for this minute?
No, that's it for me.
All right. Since this is the first of the COVID minutes, I'm going to say this. Everybody, please stay safe. I know that as of today or this weekend in our world here in Texas, they're opening some things back up. I realize people want to get out there. Get out, be safe, be kind, take care of yourself. For Richard and Sean, I'm Todd. We'll see you tomorrow.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.